yeah, NBA Straya. How are you going? How you going? Hope you're all right. You should be. It's Thursday, November 21, all day. Almost the end of the week, man. How good's your Thursday been? Oh, yeah, not bad. Bloody beautiful day here in Melbourne, I'll tell you that much. Anyway, I'm your host, James Clements. This is NBA Straya. You can see me on what? The official NBL Supercoach podcast, the AFL Today Show, NFL Australia, all the good stuff. Here in Larry Armour Studios. I'm back, baby. Because I'm going to run off and go get the squids. Tell you what, solo dating, it's going all right. Either way, today's show, quick one again, just because, you know, a bunch of games, we'll fly through it all. But mostly, we had an awesome day for the Aussies, which was cool. Luke Travers played 1 million minutes, so did our man Johnny Tins Furphy. But also, it's a Sixers disaster. Oh, I love a good Sixers disaster. I was breaking this down on yesterday's show. It got worse today. So we'll talk about that. We've also got the game wraps. We've got That's Not a Knife, Old Mate, No Mate, Spud of the Night, Better Than Lonzo Ball / Bronny James. Actually, it's more fitting than it's Bronny James today. What else? Yeah, Nas Unpopular Opinion of the Day and Outback Takehouse. And then we'll pick and preview all the games tomorrow after a quick little check-in with our Kiwi Corner. That'll be fun. All right, so let's get into it, shall we? Episode 1159 of NBA Straya. Let's go!
This is Josh Giddey.
G'day, this is Andrew Gaze.
This is Jack White.
This is Joe Ingles.
This is Dyson Daniels.
This is Chris Anstey.
This is Matthew Delvedova.
This is Shane Hill.
Hi, this is Ryan Brockhoff.
This is Mitch Creek.
This is Mick Kay.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Australia.
And you're listening and watching NBA Straya.
This is NBA Australia. Let's do it.
Watch out for the shack attack.
Wow, you better. Especially if you're out there going to Shaq's Bass. I just want to say Shaq's Bass. Shaq's Bass All-Stars Festival. That's a big crowd shot with the flyover from the drone. Looks like a hell of a party. I got to go, I got to get my Shaq-alicious XL gummies, and I've also got to go to like a Shaq Bass All-Stars Festival. I also want to go fishing with Shaq. That'd be fun. Go catch some Shaq bass, if you know what I'm saying. Right, let's start today's show the way we start every show here in NBA Straight with a daily. Oh, it's a whip around, man. Chris Middleton's been cleared to return. He's now just going to work his way up to like actual conditioning to play, which is kind of fun because the Bucks have sort of righted the ship. We'll get to that in 1 second, but yeah, it's going okay. So we'll see what happens once he actually gets back. When he actually does, the timetable is sort of up in the air for the Bucks. But I'll tell you what, the pressure's off after a few wins. Just saying. Speaking of injuries, however, Paul George went down today. This is why it's a Sixers disaster today. Because, I'll tell you what, it's just not good. If you can't get any sort of runway together with your 3 stars, I mean, how are you going to turn this all around? Anyway, hyperextends his left knee, the same one that he hurt at the start of the season, or preseason, whatever it was, where he had the bone bruise. So, not great. And, I mean, Embiid also sort of looked like he got shot in that game, and then came back in because that's just what he does. And the other little bit of news in terms of injuries is that D'Anthony Melton's ACL is going to be ACL surgery, so he's done for the year, which sucks. Outside of that, Lonzo and Patch Williams out for the Bulls for another week at least. Patch goes out. That stinks. But at the same time, not a giant surprise. It's just the story of his career, isn't it? It's like, hey, do you know how to play basketball? He's like, I don't know. It's like, can you play for a couple of weeks in a row? And he's like, I just don't know if I can do it. So Patch Williams is out. Basically, he's got like inflammation in his foot. And Lonzo's still out basically for another week. So with his right wrist. Tough spraying that one, I'll tell you. Jeez. Anyway. Oh, LeBron's also taking a break from social media. Oh, but what about Taco Tuesdays? Oh, jeez. Right, let's do some game wraps. Game wraps. Hey, the Pelicans got absolutely smashed by Cleveland. That's right, they got straight killed.
But he got straight killed.
It is not good for the Pels. The Pels are really bad. This is a back-to-back shellacking. A back-to-back shit pumping, basically, for the Pels after yesterday's just disaster zone hammering at the hands of Dallas, which was 41 points. Today they lost by 28. Yeah, not good. It's all getting a bit sideways, isn't it, man, for the old New Orleans? Hey, did you know that Elfrid Payton is now on the Pelicans? He played his first game in over 900 days today. That was awesome. But anyway, good answer and a good bounce back from the Cavs on a back-to-back after yesterday. No Darius Garland. He sat out with his groin, which is good. And they just smashed him so completely. They needed like 20 minutes of Donnie Mitchell, 18 minutes from Mobley, 21 for Fro. It was all good. For the Pelicans, 34 points for Antonio Reeves. I'm going to talk about him later. Amazing. 11, 5, and 8 for Elfrid Payton in his return. Remember his big old stupid hair that just bobbed down in front of his head? I love Elfrid Payton. The Cavs, Ty Jerome had 29 points. He had 27 in the first half. It was awesome. 16, 11, and 7 for Jalen Tyson, a.k.a. the dyslexics Jason Tatum, Jalen Brown. Jalen Tyson, I love that. 10 for Donnie. The G-Wagon, that was the name I was trying to think of for George Niang yesterday. The G-Wagon, he had 20. He had 6 of 12 from 3. New Orleans, they dropped to 4 and 12. They are the Pelicans at the moment. And Cleveland, that's right. Cleveland, 16 and 1. Chicago got smashed by Milwaukee. So my pick of Chicago felt all right for a bit, and then they got stomped. It was a 2-point game with like 7 minutes 56 left. It was 102-104. And then they just got smoked down the stretch. 18, like an 18-4 run to close this one out for the Bucks. This is the thing. The defense for the Bulls is non-existent. Like, they can't not give up 120 points basically every time they step on the floor. I don't know about you, but that's pretty bad. You know, like it's just a bit of a vibe. So they gave up, basically, if you look through their last run of games, they gave up 122 to the Bucks. They beat the Pistons 122-112. 143, 144, 123, 119, 113. They just give up a lot of points, this Bulls team. Dame enjoyed it, but Giannis enjoyed it even more. Levine had 27. Handy at times, got them back into the game as well. 14, 6, and 6 for Vooch. 14 on 6 of 15 shooting for Kobe White. And Josh Giddey has had a rough couple of games, I'll tell you, on the offensive end, and had a pretty tough defensive look where he just got out of the road of a Giannis. I mean, to be honest, I would too, but at the same time. But either way, look, it was a weird one. Like, Chicago sort of hung around but never got their noses in front. Like, it was a 1-point game in the third quarter. It was a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. But they could never just get over that hump. And it sucks. Giannis had 41, and the Bucks shot 55%. That's pretty good. Dame had 20, 21-5, 3 assists, 3 steals, and a block for Brook Lopez. AJ Green was the revelation here. He had 18. He went 5 of 7 from 3. He's been awesome. And now the Bucks are all the way up to 6 and 9. Nice. And the Bulls are 6 and 10. Indy, talk about not playing defense. They gave up 130 to Houston. Rockets dropped threes everywhere. The Pacers just lack of defense, killed them. But the question is, and I keep banging this point home, hey, today was Halliburton good? No. Okay, they lost then. Yes, that's how it goes, because it's horrible. There's no other way to put it.
This is horrible. There's no other way to put it.
That's that Pacers defense. I love the H-Town jerseys in action today for the Rockets. I've sort of talked about them before. Seeing them again, you're like, I actually don't mind them. They just kind of look a bit neat. Anyway, Pacers are bad. 21-4 for Siakam. 22 for Quentin Jackson in his first start. That was pretty cool. 4 points on 1 of 7 shooting for Halliburton. Benny Mathurin had 8 points on 8 shots. 17 for Cheat. Look, they were just gross. They played Johnny Furphy a million minutes. He was awesome. I'm going to talk about him in the Australian Player Watch. Loved it for him. Şengün had 31, 12, and 2 for the Rockets. Oh, geez, Jim. It must have been pretty rough for the Pacers to not have, like, Miles Turner, eh? And it's like, au contraire, Miles Turner came back. He just got towed up. Miles Turner had 5 blocks, but Şengün just ate him alive. 23 and 8 for Jabari Smith as well. They shredded the big man. Fred VanVleet had 18 and 4 steals. He went 4 of 8 from downtown. Jalen Green just, 14 points on 13 shots. The Jalen Green experience. Indy now dropped to 6 and 9. Nice. And the Rockets are 11 and 5. All right, the Sixers disaster. 117. They lose in Memphis. Just wait until Embiid and Paul George and Maxey come back. It'll be fine. Oh, wait. This just in. No, they were playing. Oh, God. Embiid looks like me, basically running up and down. Like, if you just stretch me out and turn me into, like, I don't know, bloke from Cameroon, I'd just be grunting and just heaving and just, I don't want to do this. Oh, my knees hurt, my feet hurt. Oh, this all sucks. And he's still had 35 and 11. But, wow, you could see why this team is like, oh, geez, there's not much fun playing with this bloke, is it? Like, McCain had 20 and 5. Maxey had 3 of 13 shooting for his 8 points in his return. It was bad. And Paul George, so he leaves with his hyperextended left knee. He was stinky before that anyway. So, yeah, he had 2 points and 1 of 6 shooting. It was brutal. Like, the Grizz worked him like a speed bag. Took a big run late from the Sixers to even sort of get this back within pissing distance. So, like, when you have a team meeting and Embiid and Paul George and Maxey are playing and you get straight killed, I guess.
So he got straight killed.
By Scottie Pippen Jr., Desmond Bain, and Triple J, like, you got to take a long, hard look at yourself. The Sixers are now 2 and 12. You have to go on a 10-0 run just to get to 500. You are about 3 games away from your season essentially being cooked. Oh, but geez, Jim, it's a long season, man. It's only 14 games. There is a 10-game gap between your wins and losses already. Right? And as I sort of said last week, I figured they'd pick up a win or two in the interceding week, and they haven't. It's teetering on the edge. They've basically got a 3 to 5 game window here coming up where this could just be it for the Sixers. And we'll talk about that again later. But for the Grizzlies, Desmond Bain gave Caleb Martin the old brap, brap, brap. And Caleb Martin didn't like that. Desmond Bain had 5 of 11 shooting from 3 at 21, 25 and 4 for Triple J. Scotty didn't have a great game. He had 8 and 4 and 3. But Santi Aldama had 14, 6 and 6. The Grizzlies just outworked them. It was embarrassing. If you're a Sixers fan and you watch this game, you should be embarrassed. From that team, by that team, for that team. Like, it was horrible. Zero effort, like lack of just like rebounding. Just, it was gross. Like, every time there was like a loose ball, there was like a Grizzly there. And this is kind of the thing. The Grizzlies are 9 and 7. And if you're a Sixers fan and want to whinge about injuries, oh, but we haven't had Embiid or Paul George. The Grizzlies haven't had Ja Morant, Desmond Bain for like the entire, like they've had no dudes, basically. And they're 9 and 7. It's good coaching. It's having a bit of heart. Portland lost in OKC 109-99. Pushed and pushed and pushed to the Blazers. They couldn't quite keep up with OKC down the stretch. Hartenstein was massive. Hello. This was a really entertaining game, though, because, look, Portland play hard. Shaedon Sharpe is just electric. And it sort of took OKC that fourth quarter to really just sort of eke out ahead and put the hammer down because Portland just stuck with them. It was really neat. And it was like halfway through, it was a 2-point game. It was like a 1-point game halfway through the fourth quarter. And you're like, Portland might do this thing. Tumani Kamara hit a 3. And you're like, oh my God. Oh, and they could never just get over the hump. It was like a 1-point game still with like 5.5 minutes left. And they just couldn't quite get there. And then J-Dub hits a couple of big shots. And you're like, oh, it's a tough one. Blazers, 21 for Sharp, 10 and 9 for Klingon, 14 and 9 for Kamara. But that was the problem. They had they get to 99 points. 99 points, and Jeremy Grant had almost none. He shot 3 of 10. He had 14. It's just brutal. And at the same time, like Time Lord had the 4 and 8, just not enough. Denny Avdija 13, 6, 1 and 1 and 1. But yeah, the Blazers, like, this is one of those games we go, oh, I'll tell you what, Anthony Simons and just having a bit of that scoring would be very handy because Scoot wasn't that great. He had 9 and 8, but 4 turnovers. Anyway, the Thunder, Jalen Williams was awesome. 30 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, couple of steals, couple of blocks, crushed. He shot 11 and 19. When he's flying, like that 1-2 punch of he and SGA is absolutely irresistible. I love it. SGA had 28 and 4 assists with 3 steals. Caruso put on a Caruso show. He had 17. Hartenstein, had 13 and 14 with 4 blocks. Weapon. And the Blazers now dropped to 6 and 9. Nice. And the Thunder are 12 and 4. We had the Knicks Phoenix game was really, really, really fun. This was like just an awesome Knicks game. They got up 24 early. Took a few punches midway through the third quarter. It was down to 11. Grayson Allen missed a couple of threes. Brunson went up, hit one, and then Cat hit another. And you're like, oh, that'll do it then. The Suns put up a bit of a fight late, but it just wasn't enough. They lose at 138-122. It was basically like Booker playing almost a lone hand. He had 33 and 5 assists. He had 15 and 10 assists for Tyus Jones. Royce O'Neal hit a bunch of threes. 5 of 10 from downtown. He had 17 and 14 and 12 for Nurkic. But watching Nurk try to keep up with Cat, you're like, oh, this is a problem for the Suns, isn't it? Like the Suns are like, hang on a second. Why did we trade for Nurk again? Jeez, it'd be good to have DeAndre Ayton. I'll tell you what, go get like Time Lord. Go get Steven Adams' sons. Just do something because you're horrible. It sucks. They've just got no big dudes. And yeah, Grayson Allen was horrible. We went 2-9. Anyway, the problem is like the Suns' defense is just non-existent. They had, 58% shooting for the Knicks. They went 19 of 39 from downtown. Ridiculous. 36 and 10 assists with Jalen Brunson and 34 and 10 rebounds for Cat. It was awesome. Mikal Bridges against his old team. He had 16 and 5 assists. 19 for Josh Hart with 11 rebounds and 6 assists. He crushed it. They smashed him. I saw this one coming a mile away, and it was good to see the Knicks actually step up and deliver. The way that they came out with such purpose was really, really good. Knicks now moved to 9-6. The Suns dropped to 9-7. And I'll tell you what, this is beer and Skittles well in the rearview mirror for the old Suns, I'll tell you, because they've now lost 5 on the trot without Kevin Durant. The Hawks got smashed by the Warriors. This sucked. I was backing the Hawks in this one. And then you have those moments you're like, oh yeah, Golden State played defense. Yeah, it was a laugher. 120-97. Like, if you were listening to this broadcast, they were bored out of their minds. Also, what was that court? That Warriors court. It looked horrible. Anyway, 120-97. Dyson Daniels, he has 11-6 and 3, 12 and 11 for Trae Young on 12 shots. Brutal game for him. 10-11 for Clint Capela, 15 and 14 for Jalen Johnson. Orisa Shea had 12 and 8. But just Bogdanovic is back. And he shot 2 of 14. It was brutal. Anyway, they shot 33% as a team. This is it. You make a sort of big move. You get like, you've got DeAndre Hunter and Bogdan coming in off the bench. And it just sort of looked like it discombobulated the Hawks on offense. And the Warriors defense is that good. They just grasped it and just ran with it. They're just like, do not care. Check this out. Like Steph didn't have to do too much. He had 23 and 8. He went 4 or 6 from 3. Andrew Wiggins just couldn't miss in the first half. He ends up with 27, 7 and 4. Shot 12 of 17. Draymond was up and about. He had the great triple single of 9, 7 and 9. But a couple of blocks. And outside of that, like, Lindy Waters hit a couple of threes. Very handy. You had 11 points as well for Buddy Hield. He had 3 threes. Cum Dog Millionaire, Johnny Cumminga. Yeah, 10 and 6. But yeah, good win for the Warriors. They're 11 and 3, and the Hawks and 7 and 9. And no steals for Dyson Daniels. It sucks. I hate it. But he still had 3 blocks. No, 0 blocks. Bloody hell. I read that one wrong. Anyway, in the last one, the Clippers outlasted the Orlando Magic Men. I nailed this pick, 104-93. Just because it felt like Orlando are 2-7 now on the road, having won the other day in Phoenix. Yeah, they're not that great. And that's the thing. Tristan Da Silva was pretty handy. The rookie, 10 and 3 for him. 14, 6 and 4 for Franz Wagner. He just could not get it going against this Clippers team. Which is always weird because you go, well, they don't have like the world's greatest defenders, but they've just got dudes who know what to do, like Derek Jones Jr., Nick Batum. Like, they're veterans. They know what to do. They've been around a million years, and they'll just shut you down. And it's kind of exactly what happened. Jalen Suggs, 5'11". He had 16. He had 10 for Mo Wagner and 17 for Anthony Black, who looked really good. He had some awesome moments in this game. He had 8 assists. And he also had 6 turnovers. That's the good and the bad for the young point guard. Tough one. Anyway, they went 8 of 35 from downtown as well. That's one of those things for the Magic Men. It's like, oh, well, we've got Gary Harris and the notorious KCP. Yep, and they combined to go 0 of 7 from downtown. That's your veteran 3-and-D wings who aren't playing much D and not hitting any threes. And then finally, the Clippers. I mean, you had 24, 7 and 5 for James Harden. Kept sort of just foul hunting, but it was enough. 17 and 12 for Zoobs because he's like, this is great. I'm going to feast on bloody Goga. And that's exactly what he did. And outside of that, it was like KPJ had 10. You had 8 for Jordan Miller. Amir Coffey throws in 18 because he goes 4 of 7 from downtown. Clippers moved to 9 and 7. Same as the Magic. Boom. Let's do an NBA Straya pre-performance of the, I reckon, night. Yes.
That's not a night. That's a night.
Ah, Giannis. He hates the Bulls. We know that. 41, 9 and 8 with the steal. 1 turnover. 17 of 24 from the floor. That was awesome. Hell of a statement game from Giannis as well, to the point where he's like, you know what? I'm just kind of sick of us losing, so that's just not going to happen. And you're like, oh, okay. So off they go. Like the Bulls just had absolutely nothing, and now the Bucks have like strung a couple of wins together again. But mostly, what's that? They've won 4 of their last 5. So there was that stupid Hornets game in there that they probably shouldn't have lost, or else they'd be 5 straight, but sucked in. Ty Jerome, 27 points and a half as well. Finishes with a 20-70 at 7 to 12 from 3. That was very good. Who was Spud of the night? right.
Spud, 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 it is Spud of the night.
Lou Dort goes 0 of 7. I'll tell you what, it was pretty tough to watch. And as mentioned, you had the pretty rough one. Well, yeah, it's just tough for Bogdan because he sort of comes back. Oh, I forgot to mention Cat and Brunson. I had them written down as well, right there underneath Ty Jerome. The 30s for both of them. You love to see that. But Trae Young goes 4 of 12. Bogdan shoots 2 of 14. Very tough. 3 of 13 for Maxey. And Halliburton goes 1 of 7. It was brutal for a bit of that. Like that Maxey game, the comeback game was, yeah, cool. What are you going to do? Halliburton is just playing, and he's just bad. And he's just fallen off the cliff, and it's weird. The home and away. The splits are bad, but still, it's just, I don't get it, and it sucks. Anyway, the 311, who went and shot it today? Chill, yeah, that's right, it was our man Delano Banton. Goes out and drops a 311 on your head. Love that for him. Tough one, though. Like, when he fires, the Blazers win, and when he doesn't, you're like, oh, they lost. Who's old mate, no mates?
Old mate, no mates.
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 Who's got no mates today? Well, the Yaz. It's a soft J. Will Hardy came out and said, in the second half, it seemed like everybody in the gym knew that Dalton Connect was going to shoot the next shot with the exception of a few people. The problem was that those few people were on our team. Brap, 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 brap. Anytime your coach comes out and goes, you're all idiots, shut up. That's a tough bus ride. It'd be just but the thing is, like, the team would be sitting on the bus after that and going, oh yeah, thanks, Will. Yeah, appreciate that. Pantsing of the night. Isaiah Hartenstein blocked an alley-oop, which is just remarkable when it happens, and then goes up the other end and gets an alley-oop himself. That was just... Okay, so you're like, holy crap, how good is it having a dude taller than 6'7"? This is awesome. So yeah, that was a hell of a pantsing. Yeah, he just like literally deleted a Shaden Sharp alley-oop, just stopped it at the pinnacle, and then ran back up the other and got an alley-oop the other way. It was like, oh, that was very, very nice. Finally, better than Bronny James.
Lonzo was the best player in high school. He was the best player in college. You think he'll get to the pros and be like, I made it to the pros, now I can be average. He's coming for everybody.
Going for everybody. How about number 47 in the NBA draft this year? That's right, 8 spots ahead of Bronny James. Antonio Reeves, baby! 34 points today. The bloke averages 2.9. Woo! 14 to 25 from the floor, 4 of 12 from downtown. Absolutely crushed it. Antonio Reeves, you bloody legend. Way better than Bronny James. All right, let's do some yeah-nahs right after this.
This is Cam Glidden.
This is Anthony Drimmick.
This is Mitch McCarron.
This is Jason Kadee.
This is Darryl McDonald.
Hey guys, this is Hugh Greenwood.
Yo, what's going on? This is Illy.
This is Mark Worthington, or commonly known as Wortho, and you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA
And you're listening to
Straya.
NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
And you're listening to NBA Straya.
You're listening to NBA Straya.
All right, let's do some quick yeah-nah. Zachy B. Yeah-nah, has Paul George forgotten how to play basketball? That Philly team is gross. Yeah-nah, I mean... I find it so weird that Paul George has sort of come back and just so out of form, and then he hurts himself again. You're like, so we're just going to rinse, repeat this cycle. This is awesome. And then you sort of just like, all I want for the Sixers, I mean, it's funny that the Sixers are undergoing like just an obliteration disaster because it just made so much more sense when they were healthy. Like, this team looks so good on paper. The thing is, basketball's not played on paper, is it, Jim? No, it's not. And I think the weirdest part is that they've not been able to skate by without Paul George. Like, Caleb Martin in just like a Paul George light role. It's like, well, you're certainly no Nick Batum, are you? You're certainly... I mean, even Yabu's doing a pretty bloody good job off the bench, and it's just not doing anything. Like, they're just an absolute train wreck on offense. And it's this weird sort of mix-up of like McCain and Maxey, where you've got these sort of pretty handy scoring guards. And you've got big booty Kyle Lowry coming off the bench, and it just feels like they're so unorganized every time. And it's, I don't know. I hate it. The Philly team is gross, and it shouldn't be. And Nick Nurse is meant to be some sort of offensive, like, brain genius. And they just stink. So now that one, Zachy B. Can Philly still pull itself together, though? Yeah, nah. Yeah. The tough part is, as I said, they're 10 games already under 500. 10 games under 500. It's really hard to pull that back. The thing is, you're in the East. So if you go back as far as, I don't know, last year, and teams 10 games under 500 made the play-in. So you can still do it. Like, the Hawks end up 36 and 46, make the play-in. They're 28 games back. And yeah, 10 games under 500. So there is hope. And the Sixers, they now play, they go to the Nets at home, and then they host the Clippers. If you can win those two, all right, you're back on track. And it's not an absolute burn it down to the ground. They then host Houston. Tough one. They go on the road to Detroit. No easy beats. Charlotte in Charlotte. And then a back-to-back 2 games at home against the Magic, which is just... Yeah, Philly might be cooked. Did this little Milwaukee win streak stop Giannis being traded to Houston? Yeah, nah. I mean, maybe. Little bit of rumblings around that sort of stuff. But that sort of leads me into the unpopular opinion of the day.
Now look at me, please. Look at me. Look at me. Look at me.
I mean, I made the joke about Luka the other day. Just trade him. Fuck it. I don't want the Giannis conversation to happen about him being traded. And the same thing, because Giannis is that sort of proven winner. He can do everything. And he's got the eye of the tiger in a massive, massive, massive closeout NBA Finals game. Drops a 50 burger. And does everything. Right? And I just wouldn't trade him. Luka, you can see the shortcomings. It's like you're an offensive genius. The passing's incredible. The scoring's awesome. But there is another end of the floor, you see, Luka. And he's like, oh, that's bullshit. I would do absolutely fucking, and this is an unpopular opinion. Like Giannis, you go, oh, geez, look at the talent and draft picks haul you get from Houston. Yeah, I'd do that after I've done absolutely everything else to go and keep him, right? Like, I'd burn that place to the ground. Like, Dame's gone, Middleton's gone, Lopez is gone. We've tried to get younger, faster, more athletic around Giannis. Off we go. Oh, it's not working. Cool. Now we'll trade him. So, yeah, I think that's how you're going to do it. Anyway, because I don't want to trade Giannis if I'm Milwaukee. He's the face of your franchise. He's the dude who should be your Kobe, your Dirk. Simple as that, right? Never leave. Never lost. All right, what about a bit of a Outback Takehouse really quick? Oh, it's Thursday, isn't it? At Outback, and that means 2 for 1 blooming onions. That's right. No prick in Australia knows what the fuck these things are, apart from that weird burger place that I went past the other day because it was some sort of American burger van. That doesn't seem very Aussie if you get my drift. I don't know what the fuck's going on with blooming onions, but they're 2 for 1. They're only at Outback. And today's flame grilled take is Paul George isn't even hurt. He just fucking hates the Joel Embiid and playing with him. And he's like, fuck this, I'm out. Peace. Only at Outback. It was like watching that game was so fucking funny. I don't know how many of you watched the Sixers-Grizzlies game, but they looked like a bunch of dudes who had just met. And we're like, hey, let's play basketball together. And like, oh, where are you going? What the fuck? Oh, God. What's this guy doing? What's your name again? He's like, I'm Paul. It's like, all right, g'day, I'm Joel. It's like, yeah, this dude fucking sucks. It was hilarious. But yeah, there's not exactly, the world's greatest amount of love, I think, between all of them. All right, quick Australian Player Watch. Let's get straight into it. The Australian Player Watch for Thursday, November 21. Josh Giddey, I mentioned he had a tough one in that loss to Milwaukee, 106-122 loss. He had 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 turnovers, only shot 2 of 9 for his 5 points. It was brutal. But Johnny Furphy, big day for the young Aussies. Here we go. Well, I mean, Gids is super young as well. But Furphy looks like he gets checked for ID every time he goes to play NBA. He had a career-high 21 minutes. That was awesome. The most I think he played was like 9 prior. He ends up with 6 points in the end, 2 of 3 shooting, 0 of 1 from downtown, 2 of 2 at the line, 1 rebound, 1 turnover. Great to see him out there. He's 19. He's so young. But God, I love him. Thanks, Johnny Furphy, you legend. Dyson Daniels, I mentioned he had a bit of a rough one against the Warriors. He had the 5 of 12 shooting in 31 minutes. He ends up with 11 points, 6 rebounds and 3 assists, 3 turnovers, 0 steals, 0 blocks. Bit of a rough one, but still leads the NBA in steals. So, of course, he's all good. Jock Landau, the rock'em, sock'em, block'em, jock'em, the rooster. 13 minutes against the Pacers against his mate Johnny Furphy. He had 6 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 fouls, went 2 of 5 from the floor and 2 of 3 at the free throw line. Love that from Big Rock'em Sock'em Block'em Jock'em Landale. Big day for him. It was good. Jack McVeigh didn't get out on that one. He had he took the day off. They gave him the rest in that one, which is all right. Rockets, that's fine. It would have been good to see him out there, but anyway. Luke Travers played a massive 30 minutes against the New Orleans Pelicans because they absolutely smasher-merated them. And I had to double-check that. I'm like, wait, 30 minutes? Like, I watched a bunch of that game. He was out there for 30 minutes. He shot 2 of 6 from the floor, 0 of 3 from 3, 4 points, 2 rebounds, 3 assists, and a steal. Big day for our man, the flying doormat, Luke Travers. How good was that? Because I think across the board, obviously the 30 minutes is a NBA career high for him. And the rest of it as well, if you go to his points, was a career high. The rebounds was a career high. The assists was a career high. And the steals were a career high. So a very nice day for Luke Travers, our man, the flying doormat. It was a +5 in 30 minutes in a game. They won by 28. Love that. And Aussie Matty T, and Duop, the Great Barrier Reef, did not get out there against the Oklahoma City Thunder, nor did Alex Dukas. They all did not play coach's decisions. So, bit of a rough one. All right, bit of a Kiwi corner as well. Steven Adams, bro, he is back and he's playing a little bit. There's sort of, I mean, as mentioned, we had a bit of the, who came out there? Jock Landale, right? So Jock Landale plays today, and you're like, oh, that's good. And then Steven Adams just doesn't play that much. And like that's the thing. Houston have got like this big man glut behind Şengün. So Steven Adams played against the Bucks in that 1-point loss to Houston by Houston. He played 5 minutes. He had 2 points and 2 rebounds in the 5 minutes. Before that, he played against the Clippers. He had a 7-minute stint where he had a steal and 1 foul and 1 turnover. And before that, you got to go all the way back to the game they played against Washington, where he had 2 points, 7 rebounds, and an assist to go with 4 turnovers. But anyway, it's good to see him back and cruising out there, Steven Adams. It'd be nice to see him in a bigger role. I'm just saying, get him home to OKC, get him over to Phoenix. Let's go. All right, and finally, let's get into a bit of a Patty Mills Game Day Ball, a Game Day Twitter check-in. We actually had, I think, the Jazz again. I like that the Jazz are using Patty for a lot of their socials. There was like a jump scare thing that they were doing as like a part of a... I reckon, yeah, there we go. There he is, Patty. Last catch of the day. Oh, you're in a bear attack. That's good. We celebrate National Take a Hike Day today. We're here to remind you, always be bear aware. And Patty's the first one who gets scared. It's very good. All right. Game previews and picks for tomorrow, for Friday. Let's do it. Game previews. Thanks, Inadvertent Bane. Not a problem, Jim. How's it going? Oh, not bad. These quick shows are all right, but, you know, see how we go tomorrow. We've only got the 4 games. We've got Detroit at Charlotte. Now, Charlotte are pretty good at home, as we've sort of discovered. And the weird thing was LaMelo sort of got half benched the other day. I'll be fascinated to see how they respond, Charlotte. They've got those scoring wings in Miller and Bridges with a bit of LaMelo. They match up weirdly, I guess, with Detroit with Cade and Jaden. Cade and Jaden. And I mean, the Detroit vets, like, you know, Harris and Hardaway, haven't looked great. I might go Charlotte at home because it sort of seems like that's the only time they ever win any games. They were pretty good against Brooklyn the other day, but I think Charlotte can actually win this one. So give me the Hornets plus 2.5 at home against Detroit. Minnesota, a 6.5-point favorites against Toronto tomorrow, which feels a little bit wonky because the Wolves are good and the Raptors are bad. So I'm going to go the Wolves minus 6.5, even if they're on the road. Don't mind that as well. Let's go. The Jazz go to the San Antonio Banderas Spurs. I'm going to take the Jazz in this one after, like, they put up a pretty handy fight the other day. I feel like Lowry, Jordan Jeremy Clarkson, the Sex Man Sexton and co are just sort of like getting to this point where they're looking a little bit more capable. And the Spurs, I mean, they had that awesome burst, did the Spurs in their win over OKC. And that was without Wemby. I think they're just going to be a little bit thrown for a loop. I think Utah can win this. I think they've, you know, fire lit under them by Will Hardy. Let's go the Jazz. Then we have Orlando against the Lakers. The Lakers are 5.5-point favorites after the Magic lost today against the Clippers. I'm going to go the Lakers. I think AD Oots Orlando have just got Goga and Mo Wagner. I am tempted to go the plus 5.5 for Orlando, but the Lakers can also just go hammer and tongs on some teams. And, I mean, we saw them beat the Jazz yesterday. You know, to a degree where you're like, yeah, they sort of just manhandled them, kept them at arm's length, ended up only beating them by 6 because the Jazz came flying back, as I predicted. And that's why I like the Jazz against the Spurs, right? They're just they got Dalton connected. Orlando probably won't get Dalton connected, but it feels like the Magic on the road. It's just, Franz had a tough game today. It's not going to be that easy again tomorrow. So let's go the Lakers minus 5.5. And there you go. Only a 4-game Friday. That'll be fun. So we'll wrap all that up for you tomorrow and set you up for the NBA Cup on Saturday on tomorrow's show. So in the meantime, make sure you're following NBA Straya on the Twitter, Facey IG, TikTok, and of course YouTube's power rankings came out as well. Go check those out. That's fun. Fun videos. Get around NFL Australia, just myself this week, wrapping up week 11, setting up for week 12. That starts tomorrow as well. Check us a rating, review, and your Apple Podcast, your Spotify, your YouTube Music, whatever your app you use on your Android phone to rate, review, star, whatever. Help a brother out, would ya? Come on and tell him, mate. Just sign up your mum, sign up your dad, sign up the missus, sign up the kids. Well, maybe not the kids. Yeah, I'm a bit R-rated. Anyway, it does help out heaps. And also get around the AFLW Today's show. We've got finals this week. That's awesome. Prelims, let's go. Cricket Today podcast. The first test starts tomorrow as well. You better get around the preview. The boys release that today. Football Today podcast for all your soccer and hold all tickets for your GGs. Big thanks always go to From Oslo for the intro and outro song. Check out House Hatch, Joshua De Laurentiis, Fascinated Goldman's, Ramshackle Army, Iowa Section, Green, and Dozers behind all the tunes. They're the bands behind all the tunes you hear throughout the show. Smash them all on whatever you listen to your tunes through. Spotify, Apple Music, whatever. NBA Straya Sports Australian band, so should you. And that's it for today. We have got to go and get the squids. The solo dadding is going all right. I'm just saying, it's not bad. Everything's okay. We had 2 meltdowns this morning, and then also the kids had a cry. Nah, it's all good. Can't wait for my Shackalicious XL gummies, though. Just saying. All right. We'll catch you tomorrow, you dickheads. This is NBA Straya saying, look after yourselves, would you? And later, Hosanna.